Shefali Jariwala, the popular Kaanta Laga actress and model. She has passed away at the age of 42. She was rushed to the hospital in Mumbai, but she was declared dead upon arrival. The cause of her death is still unknown and it is still being investigated through a post-mortem. Just to give you some background, Shefali had previously spoken about her struggles with epilepsy, which she developed at the age of 15. She had also mentioned that stress and anxiety could trigger seizures and that her condition affected her career after her rise to fame with Kaanta Laga, that song. Her husband, Parag Tyagi, he was with her when she was taken to the hospital. So this unfortunate death that has taken place, Shefali Jariwala, the popular Kaanta Laga girl, she has passed away at the age of 42. Shefali, remember, also added that she did Kaanta Laga. She could not do more work because of epilepsy and seizures. In fact, many reports, they have suggested that Shefali Jariwala, she had been undergoing a specialized treatment for the past 5 to 6 years, I beg your pardon, to maintain a youthful appearance. Could that have been one of the reasons that triggered this? That is something that is still unknown. The post-mortem is currently underway. This involved an anti-aging therapy, which is commonly used to improve skin texture and make one look younger as well. The doctors, they have stated that these medications do not have a direct impact on the heart and are typically used for cosmetic enhancements only. These are all speculations and we're not jumping to conclusion here on NDTV. As of now, the actual cause of death will be known only after the forensic report and a post-mortem examination. So Shefali Jariwala, the popular Kaanta Laga actress and model, she has died at the age of 42. She was taken to the hospital in Mumbai and she was declared dead upon the arrival, and the cause of her death is still unknown, and as I mentioned, it is being investigated through a post-mortem currently. And my colleague Sujata Dwivedi joins us from Shefali Jariwala's residence, I believe. Sujata, you know, this must be a very difficult time for the family. Have any of the family members spoken to the media? Have they said anything?
Well, to start with, we did try speaking to Shefali's husband, Parag, in the morning when he was in the store with his dog, though he did not respond to any of our talk that we tried to initiate. And also, there were other of these family members of Shefali who have been coming here since morning, and they have also been visiting the hospital, and they did try to tell us that how gem of a person Shefali was, and also at the same time they did talk about how it is a sudden demise the family has to go through at this point, and also at this point the investigation is currently on by the forensic team as well as the Mumbai police, where the forensic team in the morning for almost around 8 hours was present in the residence of Shefali, and they were trying to collect all the possible evidence that they could, which they think would help them to get a better observation and come to a conclusion when it comes to her sudden demise. And also a statement was recorded of Shefali's husband, Parag Tyagi, who last night came at their residence at around 9:30, after which around 10:15 she was rushed to the hospital. So while we tried talking to the security guards to understand what were the series of events, he stated that 9:30 Parag Tyagi comes in, around 10:15 they rush to the hospital, after which around 12 another guy on a bike comes in and inquires about Shefali's health, and this morning it is almost for around 8 hours that the Mumbai police has been investigating about and also
home and asking them about what exactly did she talk to them about, and was she really unwell because of any of the medication that she was taking, which is why the forensic team also collected the medical reports of Shefali to get a better clearance on this. And at the same time, at present, the post-mortem report has almost been completed, and shortly the mortal remains of Shefali could be brought here at her residence, and several of her other colleagues are also present from the fraternity, and it is likely that today there would be a prayer that could be held, and tomorrow it is likely that the last rites could take place, or will it be today will be shortly announced by the family members. Over to you.
Right. I also have Abira Dhar joining us from the Cooper Hospital, where Shefali Jariwala was taken last evening. Abira, any word from the doctors? Have the doctors said anything? Any statement? Any information that is that you are getting from the hospital?
So we are at Cooper Hospital. This is not the place where she was brought in the night. It was another hospital, Bellevue Hospital, that she was taken to. But when she arrived there, she was declared dead. Her body was sent here for post-mortem at Cooper Hospital. All her family is inside right now, including her husband, her sister, and very, very close friends. They have been here since past 2 hours now. The post-mortem was supposed to start at 11 o'clock, but it started later on because they were waiting for the family members to come in. The post-mortem is still underway, and any time now they will come and talk to us. We are expecting the officials to come and talk to us, but there is no guarantee about that. We have to wait for the reports to come to determine what actually caused Shefali Jariwala, who was only 42 years old, to die all of a sudden. While there are reports that it was a cardiac arrest, and there are also reports it's a heart attack, but we cannot determine what it was unless we hear from the officials what really happened.
Abira, what has been the general reaction from the fraternity, from her friends, her colleagues to her sudden demise?
You know, when the moment this news came out in the middle of the night, first reaction was of shock. Just not of his family was of course shocked, but the fans, his colleagues, it was everybody could not believe what just happened. Everybody was putting condolences out on social media, but in that just not rest in peace, everybody was like, it is shocking, and you know, our heart is broken for the family. It is a very shocking incident that happened. She was only 42 years old, and she was absolutely a fitness enthusiast. She was working, and she was living her best life. But this sudden news has shook the industry, because this is not the first time we have seen an celebrity who passed away all of a sudden, a very young age, and because of a cardiac arrest or a heart attack. So again, a big shocker for the industry.
Absolutely, it is indeed a big shocker for the industry, and we'll keep coming back to you, Abira and Sujata, to get more details as things unfold and as things develop. Time now for a very, very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Welcome back. The big story that we are tracking at this hour is the sad demise of Shefali Jariwala. It is truly heartbreaking to hear about her passing away, especially given her history of epilepsy. This tragic event, it also highlights an important connection between neurological conditions like epilepsy and cardiovascular health. And according to sources, Shefali, she had been undergoing a specialized treatment for the past 5 to 6 years in order to maintain a youthful appearance. This also involved an anti-aging therapy commonly used to improve skin texture and make one look younger. This entire treatment, it primarily included vitamin C and glutathione. Remember, glutathione is a drug often used for skin fairness and detoxification. Doctors have also stated that these medications, they do not have a direct impact on the heart and are typically used for cosmetic enhancements only. And we at NDTV, we don't want to make any sort of speculation because as of now, the actual cause of death will only be known after the forensic report and the post-mortem examination is out. But we'll try and understand the different aspects to it, the different sides to it. I'm currently joined by Dr. Praveen Gupta. He's the chairman, Marengo Asia International Institute of Neuro and Spine. I also have Bhavna Arora. She's an author and social media influencer. Dr. Praveen, to you first. When you talk about epilepsy, and I want to understand, the sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. I believe you call it SUDEP, right, or SUDEP. Given her history of epilepsy and then this sudden cardiac arrest, was this epilepsy, the sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, considered as a possibility?
So in any patient with epilepsy, if there is a sudden unexplained death, then SUDEP is a possibility. SUDEP is a possibility.
Okay.
Because what happens in sometimes epilepsy patients, specifically those who have SUDEP, there is a dysregulation because of the epileptic dysfunction in the brain of the brainstem. The brainstem actually regulates the cardiovascular function and the respiratory function. So there is a sudden imbalance from the brain regulation of cardiac function, the cardiac rhythm and the respiratory rhythm. The patients can go into arrest, and that specifically usually happens in sleep. So SUDEP or SUDEP is very well known, occurring in about 1,000 people, and we have seen cases in our practice where people with epilepsy have died suddenly. And if you don't have any other defined cause after analysis, then SUDEP is a relevant possibility in this case.
Okay. Just to elaborate on that, are there any sort of specific anti-epileptic drugs that are known to have cardiac side effects?
So there are drugs, anti-epileptic medications, which can also have some cardiac side effects because they act on the sodium channels, specifically certain drugs working through sodium channels. They can actually have problems in patients with rhythm disorders. Sometimes these patients...
Doctor, are we also talking about arrhythmia here?
Arrhythmia, sir. So basically, when does cardiac death suddenly happen? Because there is a sudden upset of the rhythm of the heart, which causes heart to either beat too fast when the ventricle or the heart cannot pump enough blood, or to beat too slow to pump enough blood to the body and brain. So sometimes anti-epileptic medicines can have some issues with the rhythm. Sometimes some people can be on mental health medications also simultaneously, which can also interact with the rhythm of the heart. And if we are on multiple other medications, we can have an undefined interaction between various medications regarding to the drug levels, which can sometimes complicate the issue. So if we have defined that it is not a medication that is causing, or an interaction with a medication that is causing it, and we are not able to find any other realistic explanation for the sudden arrhythmia or sudden cardiac death, then we talk of SUDEP.
Okay. Doctor, you mentioned about mental health, and I want to get a sense from Bhavna Arora on this. Bhavna, when you talk about the mental health side of it, how crucial is it for somebody who already has a medical condition, for somebody who already has, in this particular case, epilepsy? How crucial then it becomes that you and your mental health are absolutely on point, it's in the best of its health, and how does it contribute to leading to something like this?
First of all, my deepest condolences, to the family and friends and the fans of Shefali Jariwala. And it's very, very heartbreaking to see somebody so young, lose her life. 42 is just considered like you begin to live your life at that age. And it is a very relevant question, I feel, talking about mental health, which comes with already, the problems that she was facing. Before I go to that, you spoke about she being on these glutathione and, other sort of cosmetic surgeries as well to make her look younger and beautiful. So I think most of the generation today, I see a lot of young girls doing that. And somewhere deep rooted, there is an insecure girl or an insecure woman, who's not very confident about being in her skin. But I also come to the fact that there is something called, ego versus your true self. And when I speak about ego, this is where the entire social media influence, where, the media influence or the news influence comes into picture, and how people want to perceive you and not how you perceive yourself. And that's where the battle happens, between the two selves, what we call. And it's very important for you to be in your true self, to have like carefree thoughts and feelings. So apparently, the way that you've told me, I don't think that, somewhere I feel there was a battle going on between this. And I cannot negate the fact that being in, in the eye of the public, you cannot completely ignore this. And this is where the problems happen. Personally, I'm a type 1 diabetic myself, so I can understand the kind of perception that people have about it, and how you have to control your blood sugars and keep it under control, and what sort of mental problems that you go through when you're doing that. Now, coming to the physical side also of it, when I say that stress, so there was an incident that happened with me when I was having a difficulty in getting my father's medical health under control during the COVID time, and I was under extreme stress. And what I did was I kept pumping insulin into my body, thinking that, if I'm going to pump insulin, my blood sugars are going to come under control. And I kept doing that. And when I spoke to my endocrinologist, and my endocrinologist like, just stop doing it, Bhavna. These are stress sugars. The insulin is not going to take care of it. So do you imagine, the correlation of stress and if in case it's a cardiac arrest? So stress is a very, very important factor here. I think when
there can
people
be a lot
stressed,
of other factors as well. There can be a lot of other factors as well. And as of now, the actual cause of death, it is still unknown. The post-mortem is currently underway. And we here at on NDTV, we don't want to make any sort of speculation. But, thank you very much for making all those very valid and very interesting points, both of you, Bhavna Arora and Dr. Praveen. Thank you very much for being a part of this discussion. Time now for a very, very short break. More news and updates on this on the other side.